Okay. As we know that the industrial machine is the most rugged and the most widely used machine in industry. Okay. So when we talk the most widely used, the one that we use regularly in the industry, the induction motor lah basically. Yeah. If you go to industry, most of all the time they use this machine at this motor to run the application. There are many applications they use the induction motor. Okay, and then for this machine, we know that the both stator and rotor winding carry alternating current. So for that for the induction motor, stator current carry alternating current, and rotor current also, rotor winding also carrying the alternating current, AC current. Uh, and the alternating current is supplied to the stator winding directly. So we supply IA, IB, IC to the stator winding directly, direct from the main, from the TMB, from the utility, and to the rotor winding by the induction. Okay, so there are no direct connection to the rotor winding, not like DC motor, right? In DC motor we have a carbon brush and the commutator, so we can directly supply current to the rotor. But for this machine, we don't have that kind of facility. So how the voltage can be applied to the rotor part is by the induction. This is a Faraday law, Faraday magnetic induction. So you know that when the flux produced in the stator part, so this flux will cut this rotating flux will cut the rotor conductor. It produces voltage, and then because of the structure of the rotor, and it produces current. Okay, so when you got the current, when you got the flux, what happen? It produce torque. So it's basic thing lah. Use the Fleming's law, left Fleming's law, left handle Fleming's law. Then we know that when we got the flux, when we got the current exposed to the flux, it produces torque. So the machine will rotate. Okay, this is simple principle of operation lah. Application of the motor, we can have the single phase and also three phase. So in single phase, we can have they use in the washing machine. They use in ceiling fans, refrigerator, blenders, juice mixers, stereo, turntable, and etc. lah. This is a kind of application used induction motor, single phase. Especially in our home lah, because normally in our home we have single phase supply. So this is a kind of machine that use single phase motor. Two-phase induction motor are used primarily as servo motor in control system. Okay, there's some application for the two-phase induction motor, and then also in for the three-phase application we have like pumps. In order to drive pumps, they use three-phase induction motor or fan and compressors, paper mills, etc. Basically in the industry lah. So most of the industry they use three-phase induction motor to drive pump, fans, compressor, and so on. If you go and you work in the industry, you will see all this thing. Alright, these are basic thing some information that we need to know lah. These are pictures of the induction motor. You can see. Even you go to the lab, I'm not really sure about yours. You are able to attending the lab. I think all of you done the online lab laboratory, right? This is a third year lab. So this machine look like. You can see that here. Depending on the power rating and so on lah. Basically, these general features only. We can have the stator part here, stator part where we got the stator winding, the auto, and we got fan there for the cooling. And this is a rotor part, right? So we have stator and rotor part. So in the stator, there is a terminal box there where we apply the supply from the TMB lah. So TMB like that we come into here, but normally we goes to the starter first lah, because in order to limit the starting current, it goes to starter. Normally they use the variacs or other kind of starter. You cannot directly apply three phase to here lah, otherwise you have some problem. There's a method to start the motor. So it goes to the starter first, and the output of the starter goes to the terminal box. So we got red, yellow, blue there lah, red, yellow, blue. Okay, this is a very simple thing. And then on the inner part we got rotor there. So rotor can be two types lah. It can be square cage rotor, or it can be wound rotor. Square cage rotor is very strong machine. It's very strong one, and currently most of the induction motor they use a square cage winding kind of rotor lah. We also have the wound rotor. This is all type of machine. old type, maybe 30 years ago, they use one rotor. So one rotor ni basically it used to provide the variable speed drive. In order to get variable speed drive, variable speed of the machine. So before we have the power electronic lah, before we have the converter, inverters and so on. So most of the time they use this kind of motor, one rotor, because we can change the resistor of the rotor. We can change the R2, the resistor of rotor. But when we change the R2, it will change the profile torque speed of the machine. You know that in order to control speed, you have to change the torque speed profile. Like DC motor, right? When we change the voltage, it will change the torque speed profile, right? Or you change the RA, it will change the torque speed profile. Or you change the flux, it will change the torque speed profile. When the torque speed profile change, the speed will be changed, depending where the intersection between load torque and motor torque lah. Okay, so similar here lah. In this machine, by using one rotor, we can change the rotor resistance R2. So when we change the rotor resistor, the torque speed profile of the machine will be changed. Then we can have different speed. Okay. Later on, I'll show you the torque speed profile for this rotor type lah. But majority for the time being, they use this square cage motor. Okay. So how the flux is set up there? How the motor able to run or able to have torque? So as I mentioned before lah, so we apply the okay, you can go to this one basic principle lah. So we apply the AC current to the stator winding. We got 3 current, right? Because this is three-phase machine, we apply IA, IB, IC, or IR, I yellow, I blue. So IR has their own flux. Flux R, for example, I red, IR stand red lah. I red they got their own flux, which is flux red, for example, and yellow got their punya flux yellow, and IB produce punya flux IB. So these 3 flux exist in this machine. So the combination of this flux result in the resultant flux in the machine. So the total flux will become resultant flux. So this flux will move around the machine with the speed of synchronous ns. So this flux, the movement of the flux, this flux we call it the rotating magnetic flux or rotating magnetic field produced there lah. So this rotating magnetic field will rotate in this in between the stator and rotor air gap, and they will cut this rotor conductor. So this flux will cut the rotor conductor. Okay, what happened? The rotor conductor will generate voltage. You know that this is a Faraday law. When the flux cutting the conductor, rotor or conductor, it produces voltage. And because of the structure of the rotor like that, you can see this rotor is shorted there. The end ring will be shorted like that. Or here you can see that it's shorted by this aluminum ring. Here and here also shorted. I mean, it create close wire there lah. Your rotor is close wire. Close wire mean the current will flow. So you got voltage induced in the rotor due to the cutting flux by induction lah. And because of the structure of the rotor is short circuit here, that means we got the current flow. So this current will interact the flux from the air gap just now. It will create torque. So the motor will start to rotate. That's the principal operation of the machine. Okay, I hope you can explain briefly lah what happened, how the torque generated in the induction motor. Very simple like that. Okay. So we have torque now. The rotor, the motor start to rotate lah. This torque is equal to BLI lah. Depend on the flux density and the amount of current and so on. The bigger the current you apply, the bigger the torque produced like that lah. Is already this concept. Okay, and then if you want to rotate, the direction of torque here the torque movement direction, whether clockwise or anti-clockwise, determined by the direction of the rotating magnetic field. If rotating magnetic flux just now rotate at clockwise, that means it produce clockwise speed of the machine, like that. And if the flux rotate differently, anti-clockwise, and the motor create anti-clockwise speed. So how we can change this speed direction? It's easy. You just change the here, change supply there. If we apply red, yellow, blue, for example, then it will create anti-clockwise rotation of flux. The machine will rotate anti-clockwise. In order to make it clockwise, then the supply to the terminal board must be, instead of red, yellow, blue, you have to change the sequence now to red, blue, yellow. By changing the red, blue, yellow, then we can change the direction of shaft here, from anti-clockwise to become clockwise direction. That is a basic principle of things. So now we have flux rotating this air gap with the synchronized speed just now, where the synchronized speed is given by ns lah, ns, where ns equal to what's the formula for ns, if you remember? 120f divided by p, 120f divided by p. The formula for ns in RPM equal to 120f divided by p. F is the frequency supply, p is the number of machine pole. How many pole you have here? So this is defined by p. So that one gives you the speed in RPM lah. RPM. You want to know in radian per second. So this speed you just multiply by 2 pi divided by 60. If you multiply RPM to the 2 pi over 60, then we can get the speed in radian per second. I hope it clear for you. That's it. Yeah. Okay. I can show you something there. Okay, this speed just now, the speed here will rotate at this speed. For example, this speed, it create a anti-clockwise this way. So ns equal to 120f divided by p in RPM, rotation per minute. That speed, you call it synchronous speed. Okay. Sorry, the speed inside the air gap, not this one. This NR is rotor speed. NS is the speed of your flux moving. The shaft that you measure is rotor speed. It's different speed. Sorry, just now. So synchronous speed is the air gap speed. Okay, so we equal to 120f divided by p. If you want to get in radian per second, just 2 pi over 60. Then you got the unit in radian per second. That's how you change the unit lah. By multiplying this one, you can get the speed in radian per second. Okay, you got, you just divide lah, 60 divided by this, you got 2. So you got here 2 pi f divided by p, which equal to 2 omega e over p. So this is the speed of your synchronous in radian per second. Omega e is 2 pi f. Okay, and p is number of pole. So you must differentiate between synchronous speed and rotor speed. Rotor speed is the speed where we measure there when you put the tachometer, for example, you have tachometer there, and you measure the speed. That is a rotor speed locally. Rotor speed. So the difference between rotor speed and synchronous speed is called sleep. Sleep. I think you know about sleep. If you know the sleep. Sleep equal to ns minus nr divided by ns. This is sleep lah for the induction motor. Jadi for induction motor, sleep can be between 0 to 1. 0 to 1. 0 mean your rotor speed equal to synchronous speed. So when rotor speed equal to synchronous speed, then sleep equal to 0 here. Okay. And 1 mean that when your NR equal to 0, that means stationary lah. When motor not moving, stationary, NR equal to 0, so S equal to 1. So this one happen at stationary or starting. Okay, and that's bit. So when we talk about induction motor, the operating slip between 0 to 1. It can be 0 or can be 1 or in between here lah. In between, depend. But normally our slip very small lah. To get the height efficiency, normally the operating slip very small, maybe 2% or 3% like that je lah. And that is a condition to get very good efficiency for the motor. Okay, I think that's clear about the. First, you need to explain the principle just now, how the torque produced here, okay, and how we can change the direction of torque. I explained already, and what is the speed of synchronous? I explained already here in RPM, and also in radian per second unit. You just change the unit by multiplying 2 pi over 60. We get the speed in radian per second. Okay, and we know the rotor speed. Rotor speed is mechanical speed of the machine. Okay, that's a very important thing. Okay, another important thing. So this thing here, I show you just now. Slip equal to NS minus NR divided by SI. So slip no unit. Remember, slip is a per unit or percentage lah. So the difference between NS and R, we call it the slip speed. Slip speed, the name for it lah. The slip speed. Okay. So the slip speed is different between NS minus SR. So the slip speed have unit. If we use the RPM, that means slip speed in RPM lah. Okay, like that. If you use radian per second, so it is slip speed in the radian per second. Okay. So if you hertz, the slip unit must be in hertz. Later on, I show you how we do that one lah. Okay. I hope you have some idea about the induction motor machine now. So in terms of structure, okay, you can see the construction just now. This is a structure lah, like that. So inside the iron core here, we got stator conductor, where we put the conductor in the slot lah. We got stator conductor, and here we got rotor. Inside the rotor, we got, normally we put the iron bar in the rotor slot. We put the iron bar, not the conductor, but iron bar or aluminium bar, something like that lah. So that's why the rotor very structure, very strong. We didn't put the wire here. We put the bar, the conductor bar. Okay, inside the rotor iron slot. And it made from the slices of material lah, in order to reduce the impact of eddy current. So you see like in machine or in transformer or whatever kind of machine, all the machine they use the slices of metal. Then you don't use the solid one, otherwise you have problem the losses. You can see transformer or motor or machine, all of them use the slices of sheet there, and they make it complete set lah. Then you can reduce the eddy current, eddy current problem in magnetic things. Okay, this is a kind. So we can see that unlike this machine, induction machine have uniform air gap. It's uniform like that because this is a cylindrical machine. Okay, you can see that the stator is composed of lamination of high grade sheet steel. Okay, and the three-phase winding is put on in slot. Okay, slot cut on the inner surface of the stator frame. And the rotor also consists of laminated ferromagnetic material with slot cut on the outer surface. There's some information about that one. Alright, so I think they're very strong. So we use fan there for cooling. You got see that you see the fan there. Fan normally in the induction motor you got fan. So this fan will blow the air inside the machine, so the machine become cooler become cool. Without fan, it's very hot and it will degrade the performance of the machine. So that's why we need to have fan here to cool down the winding or the current that flow in the winding, or to shift out the heat generated here so your machine become cool. Okay, I hope we have some idea about the machine now. First, we can talk about the principle of operation. Construction briefly we know, and this the structure of the square cage. Okay, square cage rotor. This is a one rotor. I mentioned just now, one rotor is an old kind of machine. You can see that the rotor has the winding same as the stator. Okay, so basically for the square cage, the rotor also had a winding, and the stator also had a winding like the rotor. Just look like lah. Okay, and normally this machine is very expensive and required maintenance because it has this slip ring. The connection between in order to change the resistance of the rotor, it will change by external resistance through slip ring. So that means you need a regular maintenance to replace the slip ring so that the machine can operate optimally lah. So once you use for a while, the slip ring will become what you call it, you need to do the maintenance lah to change the new one. You got the dirty and so on. This is a more nice picture lah for the machine. You can see that this is your rotor, and they use conductor also here, and this conductor move to this slip ring. So you got three phase, right? You got three ring there. One phase A, phase B, phase C lah. Okay, and here we have the connector to the resistance as external resistor where we can control the winding of the wire R2. That is structure for the one rotor. So you can see that the slot of conductor they put here, where end of conductor will connected to the slip ring. And then here they connect to the resistor lah. So there's variable resistor R2 R2 where you can change this R2 variable R2 there to change the speed. You can connect R2 somewhere there to change the speed, to change the top speed profile of the machine. This only available in one rotor only, in one rotor. You can see the difference between one rotor and the square cage. Square cage, you don't have this one. Just now you show you the square cage. See, there's nothing there. It's solid only. Solid, no slit ring, nothing. So how you control the speed? Later on, I will talk about that. Basically, if we use this square cage, you cannot change the R2. R2 is fixed. Because R2 is resistant of the wire, rotor wire. So this structure, R2 is fixed. You cannot do anything. So you cannot control speed by using R2. If we use the square cage kind of machine. R2 only can be controlled if we use this machine, one rotor. Here, because here we have the resistor there lah. We got three ring, so you got one resistor, two resistor, and three resistor. And this is your variable resistor when you can change the R2. That's handy lah. So this one can be done by the one machine. Okay, hopefully you can differentiate between one machine and the square cage. Okay, this is a structure lah for the machine. If we cut the machine, basically just we explained just now, this stator part and this rotor part, right? The stator part can be connected as star or delta connected system. Can be star or delta. A is your supply from utility, from TMB, for example. So this is phase A lah. Phase A connect to winding A. Phase B connect to winding B. Phase C connect to winding C. If the star connected, if delta similar like that lah. So in the lab, in lab machine last time we did this one. We configured our starter as a delta, then we apply IA, IB, IC here lah. So depending on machine, how do you connect? But what is different between star and delta? The voltage is similar. If talk about water line is similar there. This water line equal to water phase there. So in star, I line equal to I phase. V phase equal to V line divided by set 3. In star lah. In delta, V line equal to V phase. Okay. I line equal to this I phase inside there. Set 3, I phase. I hope you are know about this one. About the relationship between phase and line for the star delta lah. Okay, so each winding is shifted by 120 degree electrical. You know about this is a three-phase system lah. So connection between phase B, and phase C is they are shifted by 120 degree, 120 electrical degree in space. This one I think I have done. I already explained about the operation. I don't want to repeat that one. Okay, now we're going to do now. We go to the next slide, which is we're going to look more detail about the things there just now. So I just want to move to the other slide. I got many slides here. You just shift here and there lah. So just to get you more understanding. 1 minute. Maybe we go to this one first. That doesn't matter. Okay, this is your Hashimoto just now. Okay, you have this A bar, B bar, A and B 120 degree just now. This is your stator winding A, B, C. Okay, the angle between A and B 120 degree lah, phase shift. B and C 120 degree, C and A 120 degree. A is your start connection. A bar is your end connection just now. I show you just now. A is start your connection, starting input coming to your A. A bar is end of winding for phase A lah. And B is a winding for phase B. B bar is end of winding like that. And similar for the phase C. Okay, the stator winding is the stator winding of practical machine are distributed. Distributed mean it's not just one wire lah. You got many wires actually. You got many a slot, not the one slot. This is just a simple thing to explain. But in practical, you don't have one slot like that. You got many slots. We call it the distributed winding. The coil side span can be less than 100. This one you call it 100 to 80 degree pitch, pitch, 100 degree full pitch panggil, full pitch. If the location between A and A bar is 180 degree, we call it the full pitch machine lah. Otherwise, it becomes short pitch or fractional pitch. If the angle between one is not 180 degree. But this condition, you can see that straight line tegak, yeah. Meaning that the arrangement is 180 degree or a full pitch machine lah. Okay, this one same thing just now. I don't want to repeat. Okay, now we want to find the flood look like, the flood that producing the machine look like. Okay, we just go to focus. We focus on phase A, for example. Phase A, you got AA bar. Just now I use AA bar. It's our singleton lah, and the singleton coil carrying current I with 180 degree electrical span. So we have this one. So dot stand for what? Dot mean current A. Or we go to A bar first. A bar mean, or cross equal to, cross mean current entering this slot. Okay, and then dot mean the current coming from this slot. You know that current coming here and turn back here. Okay, come back here lah. We want to know the flood produced by the phase A now. Okay, we got AA bar. What the flood look like in phase A? Similar for phase B and phase C lah, same thing, but shifted by 120 degree and 240 degree. So we just focus on one phase only first. Alright, you know that based on the right hand rule, right? If the current direction like this, dot. So what? You just use your right hand rule. The phase A will produce flood like that on the top and the bottom like that lah. That means the resultant flood will be move here from left to right. Meaning that this is a north pole, this is a south pole lah. You understand? The floods come out from this terminal, so this will become north pole, it becomes south pole. Okay, and we assume all the MMF drop across air gap lah. In this case, this is flood direction. So if you plot the flood produced by phase A here, of the stator winding, this is a flood look like lah. Okay, this is an angle there, theta. This is theta degree, and here you got phase A. Then it's north. You can see north pole lah. It's north pole here, and here is south pole. Okay, this from here to here is north pole lah. This is a pi d over 2 degree, pi over 2, and negative pi over 2, and here is your negative ni over 2. Ni over 2 mean half of the the flood is equal to MMF to Ni. So here is half, and this is half like that. Right. So this is a flood or MMF produced by phase A current. So this is square wave look like square wave. If you examine this waveform, basically it consists of harmonics. MMF produced by phase A consists of harmonics. It's not just fundamental, but it consists harmonic. Harmonic means we have this kind of, this is fundamental lah. Fundamental MMF of phase A produced. MMF A, MMF produced by current IA. And then beside that, we have this harmonic. Harmonic, for example, this is 1, 2, 3, and so on. This is one cycle. From here, one cycle. You got first cycle, second cycle, third cycle. So in one cycle, the fundamental, you got third cycle. 1, 2. That means this is a third harmonic. Third harmonic. So if your frequency 50 Hz for the fundamental, the frequency for the harmonic third equal to 150 Hz. Simple like that lah. Okay. And also it consists harmonic number 5. That means you got another harmonic inside this current, or inside the MMF here, which harmonic 5. You got 5 cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this meaning by harmonics. Because the MMF is square wave, it consists of fundamental plus harmonic, which is, it's not good lah. We want pure sinusoidal. We want pure MMF, sinusoidal ones. But because of one wire we use, become like this one. It's not, which is not good. So how we solve the problem now? We have to use this distributed winding, not just one winding, but distributed. What I mean by distributed? For example, this is 3 conductor like that. This is also distributed lah, but not just limited to 3 coil only. Okay, so this is the resultant of flux A, the top one, and the bottom one resultant flux due to the IA on the bottom, and this is resultant flux. Similar like that, but what is different now if you use distributed winding for phase A here? You see now, this MMF produced by phase A, which is very close to sinusoidal now. So you can see that MMF. This the thing produced, this flux or MMF. The black color is for MMFA, but the flux produced by this MMF almost sinusoidal now. So the bigger the winding we use, the bigger the number of slot we use, and then the smooth the flux produced in the machine. That one they call it the distributed winding. That's why you can see there are many poles inside the machine, because one of the reason to minimize the harmonics produced in the machine. So then the machine produces very good sinusoidal flux inside. Okay, this is for phase A lah. Similar for phase B and phase C. You can do the same thing. So you can see that after that the difference between A and B is shifted by 120 degree, and B and C also shifted by 120 degree. That's meaning by the distributed flux. So we need this kind of construction in the machine so that we can have this one. Okay, MMF A for phase A is much closer to the sinusoidal, where it has less harmonic content. Okay, the harmonic content or the harmonic in the MMF phase A, for example, can be further reduced by increasing the number of slots. So the bigger the slot we use, not just 3 slots, right? We have this kind of waveform. So the bigger the slot we use, then the smooth the MMF produce. This example of winding of phase A, winding of a phase placed on 12 slot, for example. You got 6 here and 6 here, then this look like lah. So it's much closer to the sinusoidal. That's why we need distributed winding for the stator, because of this reason. So in order to obtain a truly sinusoidal MMF in the gate, first the number of slots has to be infinite large, and the conductor in the slot are sinusoidal distributed. Okay. But in practice, the number of slots are limited lah. You cannot get as much as possible, right? There are limitations there, and it is a lot easier to play the same number of conductors in one slot. Okay, meaning that in one slot there not just one conductor you put, but you can have multiple conductor in one slot. In this slot you got multiple conductor, in this slot multiple conductor, and this slot multiple conductor. By doing that, we can have the better MMF produce. Okay, because we have limitation of the number of slot, right? You can see that you cannot get infinity lah. So in order to solve the problem, we can put more conductor in one slot. Okay, not just one conductor, but it depend on the machine lah. You can put the bigger the conductor in the slot, so we can have this. We can solve the problem of limitation of slot number. Okay, that's meaning by the construction of the machine in the AC machine or induction machine. Roughly about the stator winding. And this is a flux produced by phase A lah. You can see the flux produced by phase A. And this in terms of the flux, just now you can see this one. Theta degree lah. Relationship between phase, this one. Bye. Never mind, just check this thing only lah. That's how the system work. This is theta degree. You can see theta. Theta 0, you have this maxima lah. Theta 0, you got maxima MMF. Just now I show you here. Just now you see. 0, theta 0, you got maxima peak. When theta is equal to 0 lah. It's not moving yet. So this one you got max. Okay, similar here lah. You can see that if you got 0 theta, you got maxima MMF. So when theta change, this relationship between them lah. When theta equal to 90 degree, you got here. and then and so on like that. Alright, so now what I'm going to show here is the relationship between I and flood produce, or I and the MMF produce in the machine. Okay, for example, this is your current that flow. This is your current. Excitation current, or IA lah. For example, IA, IBIC, this is excitation current in time with respect to time. So the time current change with respect to time lah. Time zero, current zero. Time somewhere there, you got maximum current. And what is flood produced in this machine? What is flood or MMF produced in this machine with respect to time? Okay. Now we see one by one. You have to focus this one. Okay, now time zero. This time zero there. The flood produced equal to zero. Okay. There's no flood produced at when the current equal to zero. So now the flux, the current change, the T change from T0 to T1, where T1 is half peak of the maximum current. So this flood generate in this machine. You can see that flood basically, you can see this kind of flood. 0 to pi, this one cycle lah. Half, you can see the half now, peak half value. Okay, if T equal to T2, maxima current, the flood is maxima now. This relationship, see again. 0, okay, 0, nothing, 0. Okay, now current half at T1. So you got half maximum flood. The MF half, peak half. And if T to maxima at T2, then you got maxima produced flux. And if T2 become T3 now, half again, positive half, then you got half back like that. And then when T4 equal to 0, balik 0, there is now 0 flood produced in the machine. Okay, now it's move further. It's negative current now. Negative current means the current entering and enter and come back lah like that. This one may be dot and this one may be cross like that. This positive, normally we say positive current is cross. You see the conductor is cross punya symbol. And when the current is dot, negative, dot. So you can this dot. You can see the current is reversed. The flood produced like that, reversing like that. And negative dot, maxima dot, you got maxima flood produced, and so on lah. Half again, and 0 again, and back repeat back there. There is a relationship between current and MMF produced in the system. Okay, I'm going to use this one later on when we study briefly on the rotating magnetic flux. I hope you can appreciate this thing. You got so this relationship between current and MMF produced. Okay, current 0, MMF 0. Faham? And the current positive half, this is the flux or MMF produced. And then maxima positive, you got this, and half positive, you got half again, and current 0, F also 0. And then when the current reverse or dot notation, this is a cross with dot, then we got the negative half, you got negative half like that. You see the reverse now, and maxima, and so on. Half again and 0 again. So there is relationship between the current that flow in the machine with respect to MMF or F produced in that particular current. Okay. So if we combine three current, we know that in the machine we got IA, IB, IC, right? Three current: IA phase A, IB phase B, and I phase C. This is the current look like lah. Okay, we just show you lah. This the blue color stand for phase A, red color. Put here phase A, red color one, and phase B the red, yellow lah, and blue. So this is the resultant. If you combine three current there, you got the black color one. You see the resultant MMF in the machine. Okay, resultant MMF in the machine. You understand? At particular time lah. So when the time move, you can see the MMF will move, whether move forward, move the right side or left side. Okay, depending on the sequence that we apply to the machine. Sequence. If we apply red, yellow, blue sequence, so the black color here will move on to the left side. same amplitude, peak same, but it move to the left side, to the left side. Okay, and if we use red, yellow, blue, yellow, it move the left side, the right side again. So it move with this same amplitude in the peak value is same. It can move by the left or right. But we can see that based on this waveform, the air gap will rotate at this speed with the same amplitude. Okay, same amplitude. Peak value same, similar. Whatever point you take, the MMF produce is similar, but it will rotate. I will show you later on. We rotate depending on the sequence that we apply to the machine. Okay, hopefully we have some idea here, the relationship between current and flux produced or MMF produced. So I know I'm going back to the slide just now. Okay, we just stop here first. We can just go back to. I want to explain the rotating magnetic flux. Okay. Okay, now go back to here. It's very interesting, I think. Okay. All right. So this what you see just now here, explained already in just my lecture just now. So that is meaning by T1, T2 lah. So at particular time, you have this flux. Okay, this T. Okay, T1 mean maximum positive lah. Maximum positive got maximum MMF produce like that. Okay, this one when you got negative maxima and so on. This is the position. Okay, now I'm going to explain briefly on the based on this slide. Okay, this is a current that we apply to the machine. IA, IB, IC. Okay, IA phase A to the stator winding. IB, IC. Okay, this is a T naught. T naught represent timing that we want to check. Okay, T naught represent what? T naught represent the here time. Okay, T naught represent IA maxima positive, IB and IC minimum negative, half of the maxima negative current flow. You understand? At T naught time 0 ni, IA positive current. This is a balanced current in three-phase system. So the positive current entering the conductor A with maxima IA. Conductor you got just now, you got three conductor, right? A, B, C ni, A, B, C. So at A here, A bar, understand? A bar, B bar, C bar. Okay. A ni mean the conductor A lah. First start conductor A bar and conductor A. We go back here. So if you got plus there, that means the current entering phase A. The current entering phase A, enter phase A and come out from A bar. Faham? Jadi kalau A ni cross, A bar dot. Kalau A ni cross, you put cross there, masuklah cross. A bar must be dot. That one happen at T naught. Okay, for the phase A. For the phase B, negative. Apa maksud negative? Half. That mean phase B ni negative. Negative mean you see this one. Phase B ni current keluar, come out from phase B and entering phase B bar. Dia masuk through B bar, dia keluar kat B. That's why you see the dot notation nanti. Similar for phase C. Phase C also similar. Current entering C bar and enter C bar and out at C only. Like that one, at point C you see the dot notation. So C bar you see the cross, C dot. B bar you see cross, B dot. Okay. A you see cross, A bar dot. That's how meaning by notation lah. At T naught. Similar for the other point, you can take any point. You can take T1, T2, T4. You just follow this thing. Just the example. T1. What I mean T1? T1 here, I not IA equal to 0. That means there is no flux produced by IA because I is 0 now. Okay. But IB produce positive flux. That means IB got cross. The current entering IB, entering the conductor B. For the C, current outgoing from the conductor C because it's negative current. Okay, I hope you can able to appreciate this waveform. Now I'm going to sketch the resultant flux produced. Okay, now we go to this. 1 minute. Just a minute. I want to go to this something. here. Okay, yeah, you can do something. Okay, we have done something. Okay, I just go to this point. Okay, I hope you can follow this one. So this point T naught, okay, T naught, T naught what happened? IA is positive, IA positive maxima, IB negative half. Dia punya nilai ni half of the maxima, power. IC also negative. That means if you see this part here, this conductor here, okay, IA positive, so see positive mean the current entering this point, enter this point. If you see the thing, enter mean you can see the cross function there, cross, and at here is dot, keluar lah, masuk keluar lah. And point B and C terbalik lah. Point B and C become negative. Negative mean at point C negative mean as you can see is a dot. It's a dot. So C bar become cross. Okay. And B also dot because it negative and B bar is cross. Gitu. So this position at point T naught. At point T naught. At different point, different punya current lah. So what I'm talking now is point T naught. Which is here. Here, T naught, T naught there. Okay, so I maxima positive, I BC negative half. Now I will go to this circuit. Okay, if we go to this circuit. Okay, you can see, you can also plot this one. This current A bar. A bar because maxima, so you got FA maxima, peak FA. Just now I mentioned about F kan. F ni MMFA lah. So A dengan A bar ni positive. And then back to A back here. That's how the MMF look like for phase A. Phase B, this is phase B. Phase B just now negative. So A, B, and B. B negative half. You can see that B bar. Negative half. Negative. Then you follow lah, dia punya following ni. And C also negative. Half. And you got three MMF. A, B, C. So if you add this thing, you add this waveform, A, B, C, you got the dotted one, which is resultant flood, you call it. Resultant flood in the machine at T naught. At T naught. If you do the same thing for the timeline lah, you can see, for example, the different time. T1 sekarang T1 you do T1. I mean after that, what happened to the flux? If you do T1, you can see that the flux will move around, will change. Just follow the punya ni, will change with the same amplitude. That means the amplitude is similar like this, but it will move either right or left. That meaning by the rotation flux. That means we have the rotating magnetic field in your machine now, because this flux is bergerak, rotate. With the same amplitude here, with the speed of ns. That is meaning by rotating magnetic field. Okay, I want this in terms of the graphic plot lah. I hope you can appreciate this. The graph, the plot in the waveform. Now we have the phasor diagram also. You want to explain this? You can explain it in the phasor diagram. Okay, this your machine just now. A mana A dia? A, B, C, right? A cross, because just now I'm positive, cross A bar dot. Faham dot. This is the notation of current at T naught. I know I'm explaining about T naught. B just now is current negative. So negative means B is dot notation, and the punya B bar is cross. Boleh faham And C also dot. So negative current, and C bar is cross. Okay. So you know we're going to find the resultant flux of phase A. Use right hand rule. Phase A dot, that means the resultant like that lah. Like that. Phase A like that goes this way, flux dia. A bar this way. This is resultant flux FA here. FA lah. Maxima FA due to the flux of IA. You can do for the phase B here. Phase C first. This C. You can do for the phase C. And the flux for phase C. Where is it? Dot. Dot here lah. You got dot. So this resultant phase C like here, and phase C here. That means this is our phase C vector here. Vector phase half. The size half of A. Dia punya panjang ni separuh daripada A, FA. Half lah. Similar for phase B. Phase B here, then this is resultant flat there, phase B, and this is vector phase B, half. Okay, now we got FA, FB, FC. If you use vector, vector campuran. So FA here plus FB plus FC plus FB. This is resultant flat you got. This is vector lah you tambahkan FA tambah FC plus FB. This is resultant flat this. You got F total. Ini total. Jadi you see this resultant flat at T naught. So with the value of 3/2 F max. Nilai dia lah. Nilai maksimum dia 3/2 F max. So that happen at F naught. At T naught. Sorry, at T naught. Okay. 1, you got vector. So this vector happen at T. Now we go to the at T1, for example. And the next one is T1. Time T1. What happened at time T1? Time T1 ni tengok kan. IA equal to 0. Tak ada current mengalir ke IA. IB positif. IC negatif. Tapi nilai dia adalah ini set 3/2 lah nilai dia. Nilai puncak dia ni. Set 3/2. Okay. But IA 0. IB positif. IC negatif. Okay. You go to the second part here. Which is. Okay. Yeah. This one. This is T1. Okay. T1. A bar, nothing there happen. That you can see that in the plot for A and bar is not exist at all because there is no current flow for IA and for conductor A and A bar. So that's why you see nothing happen there. But for conductor B is a positive here. Positive nilai dia positive current. Positive mean cross. Where's the B just now? B. You can see B is cross. Current enter the conductor B and out at B bar. Okay. And for the C is differently. C is the current is out from point C dot and C bar must be cross. And you get the flat for the A. For A, you know, A there's no flat for A. The flat for B and C only. This is line B. You can, you know, the line B. You put the line B there. You got the flat using the flat, the dot. This resultant flat for B. This way lah. Flat this way. Flat this way. So this resultant flat is here, FB. With the value of 3/2 lah. Similar for phase C. And if you add these two, FB plus FC, you got the resultant flat again this way. Which is the value is 3/2 nilai dia maximum. So if moving now, flux. Previously here, right, here, and then it's moving toward anti-clockwise. Here, you can see move from here, now move toward clockwise at T now. If you do the rest of the time there, which is here they put the T ratio, T3, T4. If you see the T3, T4, T2 and T3. If you follow the current there, you see the current where is a T2 and T3. You can see the resultant flux is moving this way. Tadi atas kan, dia move ke sana pula, sini. That means they move clockwise, and then last one they move here. Understand? I mean, maksudnya dia punya flux, resultant flux tu moving anti-clockwise. Itu kalau kita punya sequence ABC lah. Kali kita punya sequence IA tu, IBC, red, yellow, blue, ABC. Ini there's a, call it the rotating flux in the machine. So the flux rotate with this, with the anti-clockwise direction with the speed of ns equal to 120 F divided by P. So we display by using the phasor diagram. This waveform. There you can display many way. This display in waveform method. Waveform. This is a phasor. You can choose either one. Up to you. But in this slide we only have one waveform only. You not show. We just show you one waveform only. You can do the same thing for the, you want to get the, you can do the same thing for the T1. You can show the same waveform like that. 42, same waveform like that. 43, same waveform. You can see that the dotted line will move this way lah, anti-clockwise. This way, and this way, with the same amplitude. Okay, hopefully you can have some idea lah what is meaning by the rotating flux. So I explain here based on the graph of the waveform and also based on the phasor diagram. The most important thing you need to know at particular time there. Here, time ni. Tengok time ni. expand this one bit. Time ni, time masa dia ni. T0 ni apa berlaku pada current dia? A ni positif ke negatif? Kalau positif, you letak conductor A tu cross. Faham? And conductor A bar dot. Gitu. At any time lah you boleh tengok sini. For example kat sini kita boleh tengok anytime. Ya, senang. Sini ni apa? IB, IC positif. That means conductor B mesti letak cross. Conductor C pun mesti cross. Conductor A adalah, sebab dia negatif, conductor A adalah dot. So A bar must be cross lah gitu. Check, buat banyak contoh lah. You have to do like that one by one. Then we can plot the resultant flux of the stator. This stator. Faham nah? This a phasor diagram. This a waveform. Waveform ni, waveform you kena check lah how much dia punya value. Dan you campur lah at any point. Campur je. Campur ni kan, for example, you need to add lah. Add. You kena campur lah. Ini berapa ni? Ini A kosong, tengok. Ini kan FA kosong. So, FB and FC. Then you got resultant. Dia campur lah. Ini campur this one and this one, you got this one. Okay. This one campur dapat this one. Gitulah. Then you got the point, dapat the whole things there. Okay. That's about the rotating relative flux. I hope you can appreciate this thing. This thing. Ada soalan nak tanya? I think we stop kejap sebab I just want to make 1 hour.